Here are some of the first benchmarks showing off AMD's new 7900 GPUs. In 3D Mark's Time Spy benchmark, the 7900 XT and XTX seem to perform a few percent worse than the RTX 4080. However, in Fire Strike, the XTX actually beats the 4080, so I recommend waiting 2 or more days till more benchmarks of independent media become available. But if you're after the absolute best in-class performance, there seems to be nothing from AMD that could match Nvidia's 4090. And it seems there won't be many of these cards available, as Europe, Africa, and Asia will have to split a pot of about 10,000 XT and XTX cards. And they won't be available in China at all because the cards will have a Made in Taiwan sticker on them. Thanks for watching, and please follow for more tech news. So let's just look at the graphs once again because they are a little bit strange. So these scores are from the benchmarking program 3D Mark, and here we have the Time Spy and the Fire Strike benchmark. And it's kind of weird because in Time Spy you get the impression that both of these two cards are, you know, weaker, perform less good than the RTX 4080. However, in Fire Strike, the XTX seems to perform better than the 4080, and the XT version, you know, is performing very similarly to the 4080. I mean, within 8%, which is not much of a difference at all. So what I would recommend for these cards is just wait a few more days. I think it's literally like 2 more days. Wait for independent media to actually get the benchmarks for these things till the embargo lifts, and just look at how these cards perform in the specific games that you would be interested in. And you also have to keep in mind, you know, we don't know how well optimized these drivers for the newer AMD cards are, so maybe waiting a week or two, you know, till everything, you know, gets properly optimized, you know, especially if things are, you know, gonna be performing not as one would expect. You know, this is a little bit weird to me, you know, it's such a drastic difference in performance between two benchmarks that, you know, are just, I don't know, it doesn't really make much sense to me. Like, this is just a little bit ridiculous. And anyways, let's move on. So unfortunately, it doesn't seem like there's gonna be that many of these cards going around. So apparently a total of 10,000 RX 7900 XT and XTX cards, so not 10,000 of each, 10,000 of both of them combined, will be available to the EMEA market. So that is Europe, Africa, and Asia, basically. And of these 10,000, basically 30% they're going just directly to German stores. So the supply of these things is gonna be questionable, to say the least. So I guess that might be part of the reason why AMD is not launching in China. So obviously, you know, they're not going to be launching these things in China because of political disputes. You know, the cards say made in Taiwan, not made in China, as they should. At least that's what China says, you know. So if you follow that whole political issue between China and Taiwan right now, you'll understand. But either way, this is just how it is, and it's a bit of an interesting situation. You know, is AMD standing up for their partners in Taiwan? You know, like, you know, because if they are, that's pretty cool. You know, I mean, in this case, it seems like launching in China, you know, they could kind of skip the market anyways because they just don't have enough supply for how much people are just going to be buying these things. But yeah, you know, if they're standing up for Taiwan, hey, that's pretty cool, you know, from a company. But again, you know, it's AMD's a company, they have to make money, they are literally obligated to make as much money as possible to their shareholders. So, you know, there could be a different business strategy behind this, you know, not just a nice sort of a stand-up behavior for their partners in Taiwan.